Welcome to the Drilling and Drilling podcast. We're here at King Street, the Coal Plant offices, and today we've got a guest who has been in the industry for over 20 years. He has been drilling and chilling in every country from Africa all the way to Australia. No doubt has seen everything a driller can possibly see at the moment. Please welcome Grant from OreEx. How are you, Grant?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. I feel like we should have a bit of an applause there for you, but these guys are slacking off. All right. Well, look, thank you so much for popping in. I'm glad we actually picked a day that wasn't 49 degrees.
Yeah.
That's cool. Kick things off, we're going to do a segment we like to call Breaking New Ground. It's really just to ease our way into it, ask you some stupid questions that mean absolutely nothing to no one, but are pretty funny. So, first things first, I kind of want to understand, I always want to ask this, what is the dumbest thing either you've spent your first paycheck on or that you've seen an actual driller spend their first paycheck on?
Look, it's too far back to think what I spent it on, but a funny purchase. I saw a guy when I was in Africa. I won't mention names or
No,
companies.
that's fine.
Buy a diamond, buy a couple of diamonds.
Yep, all right.
Out of the diamond fields, and only to get them back here. Paid very good money for them, only to get them back here and find out that it was just glass.
No.
It's just basically they'd smashed an ashtray somewhere and sold him a bit of glass.
Oh, poor guy.
So that's one that sticks in my mind. But as far as silly purchases I've made, yeah, I don't know.
Was it a diamond mine that they were on? Like, were they mining diamonds, or was it like...
No, we weren't. We had nothing to do with it, but it was illegal diamond fields down below. Yeah.
Oh, I've got to check things now.
Yeah. So I think one of the locals had told him he could get diamonds.
And then he went along.
He thought he'd bought something good, but it was glass.
I feel that way every time I go to a conference and I sit in on a talk, and they're like, "You should do it. Yeah, we're gonna buy it. It's gonna be the greatest project ever." And I'm like, "I will buy shares in that." I feel a bit like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that as my analogy now. All right, perfect. It's a bit of a one. If drilling was an Olympic sport, what activity would you say would be in the Olympics?
We'd have to make it even across the board. I'd have to be pulling rods in on a rod handler.
Yeah, that like the automatic one.
Where it's you driller and you're offside or in sync. Yeah, that would have. Yeah, it couldn't be anything else. You couldn't drill a hole because the ground would be different for everyone.
Yeah,
pulling rods. Yeah,
pulling rods.
Pulling rods.
See that now. Out of countries, like I've heard Australia has some of the best drillers just in general. Like their practices, they go hard, play hard sort of style. Would you think Australia would take the gold in that? Like, because you've worked around the world, would you think Australia would take the gold in that, or is there another country you reckon drills harder?
The Ghanaians are very good.
Yeah,
they're very good drillers, and they're very good at what they do.
Yeah.
Same with the Chileans.
Yeah.
Filipinos are very good, especially when it comes to diamond drilling.
Yeah.
But I think the Aussies would be right, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we'd be all right.
I think we'd be right up there. It'd definitely be a Western Australian.
Yeah, of
or
course.
A Western Australian company.
Yeah.
Should I say?
It's just an Australian all-star team. You've just got some of the best drillers from that selection process would be the funniest. But I don't know about the boys at the Olympic Village, but I think they'd have a lot of fun. If you weren't drilling today, what do you reckon you would be doing? I know you're an avid fisherman.
Yeah, I'd be farming and fishing.
Yeah.
Not together. I'd be farming and then still fishing in the spare time.
Just got a fish farm.
Yeah.
Combine it too.
No, I'd be farming. That's what my family did. That's what I grew up doing. It's what I did before I was drilling. So.
Oh wow. Where was your farm? Like WA? Have you always been WA based? Or?
No, I'm Victorian originally.
Oh, okay.
We were just below the mountain, or foot of the mountains in Victoria.
Yep.
Below the ski fields.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We had farms there. My whole family were farmers.
Very nice.
And then I farmed through New South Wales and Queensland, and eventually ended up over here on a drill rig.
Drill rig. How long ago was that?
2003 or 4.
3 or 4, right? Cool.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
I was still in high school, mate. It was a long time ago. Oh, fantastic. No, I've lived in Victoria for I think it was like 12 years before I moved
In
over
Melbourne?
here. Yeah, in Melbourne. So I know it quite well. But yeah, that's beautiful out when you get to the country there. So
Yeah. So I'm from 3 hours east, so
Okay.
East Gippsland, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What sort of like a produce farm? Was it like cattle?
Produce,
everything?
cattle, yep.
Yeah.
Had both.
Ah, perfect. Ah, awesome. Well, look, I mean, that kind of brings us into, I guess, your story. So you really began quite young, obviously working with your hands out in the fields with your family and that sort of thing. And then you mentioned, obviously, you've come here. Now, I looked at your LinkedIn and it said Boat Longyear was your first company out in Africa, which is a lie now, so we need to update that. But where was your first rig?
So I came over here in 03 or 04, and it was just by chance. A mate rang me and said, "Hey, why don't you come over here and work on one of these drill rigs?
Yeah.
You can do long rosters, and you can go fishing on your break." And I thought, that's perfect. So I came over here
Yeah.
with plans of doing long swings and then driving up and down the Western Australian coast fishing.
Brilliant.
20 odd years later, and I still have not been fishing on the coast
At all.
at all.
Oh, that's insane.
Not where I wanted to. But no, I came over and worked for Northwest Drilling, which was owned by Graham Cluck.
Yep.
That was predominantly diamond drilling.
Okay.
And it used to annoy me, these RC rigs going, we'd be on a hole for 3 or 4 days, and these RC rigs would just keep going up and down. This was in the iron ore. A lot of it on Gina Reinhardt's Hope Downs when we started that.
Wow. Early days.
So I jumped over to RC,
Yeah.
and that was Grimwood Davies. And then subsequently, 2 years later, Boat Longyear bought both those companies and merged them, and that's what they are today. And then once that happened, I was drilling by then, and opportunities in Africa
Just popped up.
were calling, so I took that adventure. I wasn't married. I'd already spent I'd spent 3 years travelling overseas anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was more interested, obviously, first day in any job can kind of be very stressful. Like you have zero idea what's happening. I feel like with drilling, it's you do get thrown to the wolf's den and get told to, you're basically someone's work dog for a day. How was your first day on site? Like, how was that feeling? Like, when you finished up and you're like, when do I get to go fishing?
I had no idea what I was in for. I flew over to Perth and stayed with a mate and went and did the inductions.
Yeah.
Got sent emailed a boarding pass, and we flew into. Well, I used to fly to Tom Price, but the airport wasn't in Tom Price. It was in Paraburdoo. Then you caught a bus, and I remember there was 4 guys I went through all the inductions with. When we got to Paraburdoo, one of the guys I went up there with walked straight out and asked to use the sat phone.
Yep.
And I thought, oh, that's a bit ballsy on your first day.
Yeah.
And he rang the office down here and said, I want to be on that flight back to Perth. It's too
I can't do
fucking
it.
hot.
He just got there and was like, nah, this is...
He just walked off the plane and went, oh, this is too hot. And they flew back, and I thought, oh, geez, what am I in for here? Then I went to a rig, and it was the only one doing it. It was doing 8-inch core.
Okay.
So it was all conventional, and it was hard yakka. I had no idea. I remember at the end of the day saying, oh, geez, I think they threw my lunch out at the end of the day, and they said, oh, why didn't you eat? And I said, oh, when do we stop?
Yeah.
And they said, oh, we don't. You
got to eat as you go.
Eat as you go and find your own time. It's like, oh, okay. But it was good. Look, I had every trick played on me under the book, as they do. But it was a good company.
Yeah.
I had a good driller, good supervisor. Yeah, I was just blown away by the whole expanse of the Pilbara and these rigs. And, within the first month, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. I love this.
Wow, you're just fully on board, just like this is...
Yeah.
I can see something
farming background, I see it.
Yeah,
farming the earth.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Yeah. You had the hard yakka in anyway, you were just going to...
Yeah, like the work's hard, but I never found it overly hard. If you like your job and you want to progress, well, it's always easy, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
And it was lucky. It was, the iron ore boom was on as well, so people were getting up to drillers and becoming drillers sort of quite quick if you had a bit of nous about you. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be there at the right time. right good
place.
companies.
Yeah, good mentors, good people, obviously there, that sort of thing. How long did you stay at Fieldy for?
Offsider.
Offsider, yeah. Sorry, before you jumped in.
So I would have been at Northwest for about 9 or 10 months, I think. It was just under 12 months. Then I went to RC. And I'd had experience, obviously, so even going to RC, it was, I used to have a beer with all those guys at night, so you just ask questions. And
They tell you, yeah.
so I sort of, when I went over there, I wasn't green. I sort of knew what to expect. Look, I probably got thrown into it a little bit, probably due to lack of personnel. And,
yeah.
I remember coming back after the Christmas break, and they said, right, you're going to start drilling, you're going to start relief drilling.
Yeah.
And it was, okay, rightio. And then it was literally the next week they said, right, you're drilling on Wednesday. This was on Monday.
Wow, all right.
Your driller's going out, you're drilling on Wednesday. And it was like, well, someone better show me, because...
don't know 2 buttons right
now.
now.
And they were like, oh, hasn't he shown you anything? And I was like, well, no, not yet. And they said, oh, we'll send a supervisor out. And, look, it's, sort of picked it up. I used to watch drillers. You learn.
Yeah, you figure it out, yeah. So it's pretty, so I think obviously at the boom at that time, do you feel like there was like a labour shortage, like mining hadn't kicked off as much as what it is like today, or is this prominent, or?
Look, it's probably similar. I don't know how much of a shortage there is now, but, obviously during COVID and after COVID, there was a big shortage in our industry.
Yeah.
Look, there was a shortage back then as well, but it was a different standard. In those early days, through that iron ore boom, the eastern states were in big droughts. So there was a lot of farming kids coming over here, couldn't stay at home, work.
Yeah.
There was no money in it. So they were coming over here, and we had a lot of good people in the industry flowing through, but, that's all dried up. Farming's going well now.
Yeah.
So we're not getting those sort of semi-skilled guys straight off the bat. Everyone's green and they're starting from scratch, and a lot of them, especially this time of the year when it's hot, they don't want to do it, and they go back to the camps and they spend half their night looking for a job somewhere else.
That sucks. Still,
no, I think it's all right. It's one of those things. It's not for everyone, but those that are prepared to stick it out, it's a great industry. It's very rewarding.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of drillers that have stuck at it for a very long time, and they're in actually pretty prominent positions at the moment now, their own sort of drilling companies and that sort of thing. So it's really good to kind of see that that side of it. Getting ahead of myself though, because all right, so we've first day on the job, they've chucked you on Wednesday, you're drilling there. You said obviously, didn't have kids and bought Longy and bought it, the company, and now there's opportunity in Africa. What was your first sort of station over?
So when I first went over there, we're in Guinea.
Okay.
On a Rio Tinto site.
All right. Is this your first time overseas at this point?
No.
Okay.
I'd sort of spent 3 years travelling prior to coming into this game, so I was pretty worldly and
prepared for it. Yeah.
And I'm pretty casual and blasé as it is anyway. I remember when I first went over there with this company, the OH&S or HR lady rang me and she said, "Are you sure you're right to go over there?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" And she said, "Oh, usually people are a bit nervous and a bit scared and ask more questions." I said, "Oh, every right.
Rig's a rig, it's fine."
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was in Guinea on a Rio Tinto site.
Yep.
Yeah, huge operation, massive, multiple rigs, double shifting.
RC, right, still?
Yep.
Yeah.
RC. Yep. Yeah, and then that stopped. That stopped. What happened? I can't remember now. If the government was overthrown, or if they shot him, if he was killed.
You could flip a coin, to be honest.
Yeah, it was something happened, and then a bit of the GFC was going on as well. So we all come back and didn't go back. And then I went back about 6 months later with another company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I was stationed in Liberia.
Okay, cool. How long were you there for?
I was in Liberia for a while.
Yeah.
And that was, I love that. I could live in that country. It
Yeah.
was, it was not long after 26 years of civil war.
Yeah.
These people were just broken. There was nothing, but they were beautiful people. They were unreal, and it's full of resources.
Yeah.
It's very rich in resources. So I had an RC rig there. In fact, we had 2 RC rigs, and then a couple of diamond rigs. Then when we finished the RC, we put the rig on a boat and we sailed it up to Senegal.
Yeah.
And then we put it in there. So that was a bit of an adventure.
Yeah.
And we had a diamond rig in. So we had a couple of rigs in Liberia and a couple in Senegal. And once again, went from drilling to supervising, and then while I was in Senegal, I'd become country manager.
Oh, fantastic.
Hung around there for a bit, and then it was time to get married, so it was no more Africa.
Back home. That's all right. Where did you meet your wife while you were over there? Did you meet her when she was
in over here,
perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ex-wife.
So if I won't get into that, that's all good. So obviously over there, you worked your way up to it as well. You mentioned obviously you've worked a lot of RC, a lot of diamond. What do you prefer?
I'm definitely more RC than diamond.
Just like a quicker, more intense sort of work day. Like you feel like you've accomplished something. I know some people call diamond gentleman drilling. So
yeah. Oh, look, they've both got their good parts. They've both got their negatives.
Yeah.
Look, I've stuck with RC because that's what I know.
Yeah.
I'll leave the diamond stuff to the diamond guys.
Yeah.
Be good if they'd leave the RC to the RC guys, but some of them cross over. But look, at the end of the day, it's drilling a hole. It's managing people, managing the client. That's what it's all about. Anyone can do either if they're shown, but there's no certain skill to make you better at either. That's my opinion of it.
Yeah, cool. It's quite transferable. So then you came back, obviously, to Oz, and who did you work for when you first got back here?
So I came back and worked for Profile Drilling.
Yes. There for a while, yeah?
Yeah, I was there for 10 years.
Yeah.
And that company was a new company. They were just one rig at that stage. They were a fairly new company. They were a group of guys that had been at Grimwood Davies and bought Longyear and gone out on their own, and got to the stage where they needed a driller, so I come and slotted in there, and same thing, worked up. We got the 2 rigs, 3 rigs, 4 rigs. I ended up being the general manager there.
Fantastic, yeah.
For the last few years. Bit of supervising, but brilliant company, and we were small and we liked it like that. It was good.
I kind of find that sort of drillers will find a niche. Like a lot of mining companies they'll start off as sort of their juniors, and their aspiration is to be a tier 1, obviously, because that's where all the money is. But I find with some of the drilling companies, they're like, no, we're happy being this like boutique, generalized drilling company. We'll expand to a certain extent.
To go into the tier 1s, it's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
It's a massive commitment financially as well. Is it where the money is? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not on my radar.
It's not for you, no.
No, I don't think so. No.
So what made you jump off and do your own company?
I just wanted
Self-employed. Yeah, you're like, I've got a lot of...
Yeah, I just wanted to see if I could do it. And I guess the freedom to make your own decisions and run it how you want it. And I've enjoyed it. It's been 18 months, bit over now.
Yeah.
I've loved every second of it.
Coming up on 2 years, yeah.
It'd be better if we were busier.
Yeah.
But look, I'm not complaining. 18 months, I've gone from 1 to 2, or to 1 to 3 rigs in the first 12 months. And that'll probably do for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
How big's the team now?
So I run everything myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a bookkeeper. I've got a senior driller / supervisor / manager in the field.
Yeah.
And then the crews on the rigs. At the moment, right now, we've just got the 1 rig going.
Yeah, cool.
But when we're fully operational, we've got Oh, 18 people.
Okay.
All up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, obviously, as you get busier, a lot of stuff, obviously, within the industry at the moment, big boom in lithium, and then it just sort of dried up, and everyone sort of became really tight with money and going exploration. Gold's kicking back in, and everyone wants to do gold exploration again. Like, do you guys obviously feel that? Do you reckon is that felt across the board?
Oh, absolutely.
At the moment? Like, yeah. So, is there talk about when you guys will see that hump going? Is like the indicators that show that things will pick up again, or is it just kind of a sit and wait approach?
Look, there probably is. There probably is, and there's more intelligent people out there than me that can predict these things. Look, I don't try and predict anything. I focus on what I do. Look, it's an industry that it's not boom or bust, but it's an industry that's always fluctuating. Yeah, where it is at the moment, I don't know. I don't think it's all doom and gloom.
No,
I certainly don't think it's all doom and gloom.
No.
There's people saying that it is, but and they might be right. I think safety's come into it a lot now. I think people are starting later in the year because it's so hot.
Yeah, okay.
We've got a cyclone brewing up north at the moment that tends to make people hold back a bit. But in general, mums and dads aren't investing, are they? So if mums and dads aren't investing, well, probably too many options too.
Yeah.
People throwing money at crypto stuff and imaginary pictures, and I don't know. I don't know, but once upon a time, people just invested in the stock market.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, I mean, we have a lot of these conversations. I've got Luke over there who will constantly give me the price update of gold every day. He's made me want to invest now, which is really good. So I do get the daily lessons. But yeah, we see it all the time when we're heading off to places like RIU and stuff like that. Like, everyone's like, hey.
Yeah, there'll definitely be a switch. Like last couple of years has been mad on lithium. Like we've all seen that. Even people started looking for nickel again. Obviously we all know what's just happened in the last 12 months. More so the last month with nickel, but yeah, people will always fall back to gold. You see it in the iron ore too. When iron ore's really busy, a lot of the rigs get sucked out of the gold fields and get pushed up there. And of course, when things get quiet there, the big guys up there will come and sort of flood our market down here. So, yeah. Oh, look, I think the industry's stable. I don't know.
I think for drilling, because you guys aren't sort of beholden to a particular commodity, you're drilling. So it goes from there. But
that's right. Some people are. Some people are focused just on the iron ore and that. But myself, I've got to be flexible.
Yeah, of course.
And I'll go anywhere.
So how do you hold those relationships then with those mining companies for yourself? Is it like, obviously you've got so many years of experience. Is it sort of your constant connections? Like a lot of the guys in the industry. So having that, or is it still a lot of picking up the call, picking up the phone and?
Yeah, look, there's definitely a relationship thing. Like I tell my guys that work for me, be nice to the geos on site because in 10 or 15 years' time, they're going to be the guys writing the checks for you if you want to do your own thing. So there's definitely that part of it. Yeah, look, I find social media is pretty good nowadays for keeping in touch with people. I'm not sure how many people pick up a phone and cold call people nowadays. You don't have to. You can just do it on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yeah, LinkedIn's massive in the mining industry. I've worked in many medias and it's never as big. But mining, everyone's on there. So it's good.
Yeah. No, it's a good platform if it's used right. It's you've only got to go to places like West Perth or Subiaco and go and have a beer, and if you want to have a beer and be social, you'll bump into someone from a exploration or a junior mining company there, and you can hand a card over, and what better way to do it than over a beer?
Exactly, yeah. It's the lifeblood of the industry, really. Speaking of beer, I think we probably take a break. One? Yeah, I think we've earned a thing, and then we'll jump in and do the last little portion on the futures. But it'll be good. Right, we're back. Good beer break. Took
That's a good beer though.
It's great beer. Yeah, always on tap at Corpline office. So drillers, come on by.
Right,
always welcome. Yeah, it's good. I think Sashi actually changed the tap over last time. Was that you?
Yeah, I thought I was going to blow it up.
Oh my, yeah, it's good. All right, perfect. Actually, I wanted to ask you. Obviously, you've been a pretty strong advocate of Corplan and what we've been doing here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
When did you first come in contact with Sashi and the guys and Alex?
I met Alex, I reckon, at the inception of Corplan through. I would have met through Shane Munyard from Axis.
Okay, yeah.
Mining technology, and that was when I was at my previous employer. And yeah, met then, had a look at it. Who I was with had other ideas.
Yeah.
We were just playing around with some digital platforms at that stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went out on my own, I come and sourced these guys out and had a look, and that's what I wanted.
Okay. So with the experience you've been doing it for so long, so 20 odd years, have you seen sort of managing, I guess, your programs, the actual plods, the data that comes through with it, how's it made your life easier and more efficient?
In every single way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's idiot proof, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's pretty close. The old paper ones were basic, and of course, harvesting information off paper pods was required, receiving and data entry. But now, it's not just the plod's a plod. It's a run sheet. That's okay, but it's for me as a small company that does everything myself. Being able to click over an invoice and being able to look at a date period and go, bang, right, we're averaging this, it's costing this, and I know the client likes to be able to look at it straight away and say, right, cost per metre's, up or down. I don't even know where to start. It's so good. I love it.
Do you find the relationship with your clients better now because you've been able to give them access to that data like more efficiently and quicker? Or?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I haven't had a complaint. I certainly think that the client likes it. I don't think the client is maybe educated well enough on what you guys provide.
Okay.
I think a lot of them are sort of happy for me to send stuff through, and then they can go through it. But I don't think they understand that if they create their own portal, they can have this real-time, ongoing, and I'm sure that'll come in. I'm sure Sash is listening behind me, and he's probably jotting that down.
He's taking notes and I'd take questions from
But it's definitely liked. It's definitely liked, and like I said, I've used 2 digital platforms prior to this, and they were okay. They served their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But Corplan it's like a driller. It's like a bunch of drillers invented it.
Okay.
Or wrote it, or drilled it up, or whatever you do, code it. No, it is, and I'm not saying that because I'm here with you guys. I've said it from day one.
Yeah, of course.
Especially with it's great for payroll, it's great for invoicing, and it's transparent.
Fantastic. Do you see that? It's really good to hear, obviously, because that's how we want to come across, and that's sort of the messaging that we do to provide a lot of the time. With obviously new technologies and things coming in, do you see something from your perspective or something that you've thought of that potentially could come into the market to help drillers even further on that technology space, or where do you sort of see that industry adapting more technology into their drilling operations?
Gee.
I told you they get hard hitting.
No, there's probably things out there that I don't even know about that you're already doing. So
yeah,
I don't know. From my perspective, I like it the way it is.
Yep,
But
okay.
I know it's going to continually improve, and I'm going to have to catch up to it.
Yeah.
You know, real time. I know everyone would like that, but I don't think it really works.
Okay.
Because shit happens on rigs,
Yeah.
and you can't go backwards when you're doing real time. So, it'd be good to have the internet everywhere.
I think, look, I've been keeping a close eye on that. Obviously, Optus doing that giant thing with Starlink and then promising a lot of coverage by 2026 could solve that problem, but who knows for it. But yeah, I think that'll obviously open things up a little bit more and give a little bit more accessibility.
Oh, look, it's you're never too far away from it. Yeah, look, there's probably things that you guys are doing that I don't even know about, to be honest. So I'm not going to
No,
say do this, do that, because you might probably just say, well, we've got it.
we've got it. Great. Okay, well then for yourself, and I guess for just your advice, I guess for people that are sort of stuck in the days of believing that paper pods are the way to go, how would you basically let them know that, you know, this is a good way to move forward? Like, what's your piece of advice to these guys?
It's 2024.
Yeah.
Get with the times.
Yeah.
Simple. It's great. You know, a plod gets sent, it gets approved, the client sees it, I see it. Everyone's got an opportunity to dispute it, correct it, alter it. And if they don't, you press enter and you've got an invoice.
It's done.
You send a bill. How simple.
Yeah.
There's no work from my end.
Mm-hmm.
There's no work from their end. It's perfect.
Perfect.
Almost.
Almost. But there's always room to improve. You never want to be 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So you keep improving it. And then for yourself, like, where do you see, like, where is OreEx going to in the next sort of, I guess, 12, 24 months? Like, where do you want to see your company go to? Is it more rigs? Obviously, if the work picks up again, is it, you know, we spoke drilling in America, that sort of thing. Like, what is it? Like, what's the dream things for you?
Oh, for me, it's about retaining staff, keeping safe,
Yeah.
and upgrading equipment. You've got to. I think you've got to upgrade your equipment, keep it to a certain standard. That doesn't matter how big or small you are. It's a safety thing, but it's where do I want to be? I just want to be surviving.
Yeah.
If I'm still going in 18 months, that'd be great.
Fantastic.
I'll be one step closer to upgrading a truck or getting a new car or...
Gone fishing.
Oh, yeah, I'm a few years off going fishing yet. Yeah, look, OreEx we're not here to reinvent the wheel. We're not here to step on anyone's toes. Our product's our product. We stand by our sample quality.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We don't have all the frilly stuff around the edges. You know, our marketing's not massive, but what we do in the field's second to none.
Yeah. Fantastic.
You know, all my guys are 10 plus years experience. I've got offsiders that have got 5 years experience offsiding. You know, my drillers are 10, 15 years experience.
Yeah.
We've got good crews, good people. And with that, we'll progress.
Continue to grow. Yeah.
If we grow, we grow. If we don't, we don't. It's
Yeah.
okay. But, you know, we're 3 rigs. If we go to 6, we go to 6. The market will determine that.
Yeah. For you as well. No,
It's not a goal as such to...
Well, as you said, I mean, keeping the quality that you guys have kept for so long, and that tenure and that knowledge within the company is probably more valuable than having 18 rigs of guys that have no idea what's on there. So
No, that's right. No.
it's, I think that's what the value adds. So, I guess, look, where do people find you guys? Like, how do they get in contact with you? Like, that's the best way? Is it just you want to throw out your phone number now, and then we can call you
I'm
at
usually
any
at the boardroom in Subiaco, little bar there from 4:30 on a Friday.
Fantastic.
Oh, look, it's OreEx,
Yeah.
orex.com.au. Phone number's there. Everything's there. There's a link there.
Fantastic.
Or you can get in contact with Coreplan.
Yeah, well, we do have a driller.
And they will forward us on.
We've got a fantastic driller directory that you
I've
can actually
noticed
search.
that.
You guys
Yep.
jump on there, and it's free to anyone. So jump on now. But yeah, no, it's I think today's really given us a good insight of, I guess, your journey and sort of you've kept yourself within your company. You know, it's that keeping that strong knowledge of the drilling industry and a really strong knowledge of what works and keep improving that. With splicing in efficiencies, and I think that's kind of where OreEx is. So.
Yeah, we're a small, private, personal company, and we're here to work with geologists.
Fantastic. Well, we'll always recommend. So, and I know the guys out there will be, but generally, thank you so much for dropping in. I actually really appreciate.
No worries. Thanks for the beer.
Yeah, no, it's anytime. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
We'll wrap that up. There today. I just want to thank everyone for jumping in and listening. You can find us at coreplan.com.au and all our socials on LinkedIn, on Instagram, a few campaigns, and pretty much any convention or conference, we will pretty much be there because that's where we live. So.
Make sure you come and see you early though, because you guys tend to get a bit loose after the conferences.
I mean, that's the best time to come and see us, to be honest. I mean, if Sachi's there, then you know that it's a good time. So he's always down for a good chat. So thank you again so much. I really do appreciate it.
No worries,
And,
appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll definitely do another one. Talk soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
See ya.